erotica is a stimulation of every sense, of all the senses.
Is erotica intimate and pornography sexual?
Yes.
Where do you place vulgarity? We are from different worlds. I want her perspective. You did a series.
Yeah, The Breathing Canvas.
What is the series about? What drove it? Tell us more about that.
And yeah, that project became about the process more than the art.
What's your take on the need to do with hand?
Technology and all these things, like they're bringing it in schools and stuff, I think it's a downward spiral, honestly.
So when they're picking it up and reproducing that, making money, what can an artist do about this?
So the thing with copyright in India,
How does the cost of an art piece get defined?
personally, if I was going to buy a piece of art,
Virality also can be created and forced on with money.
art is tough. The thing struggling artist is real. It's a real thing, you know. I did have a very life-changing experience with psychedelics. I did ayahuasca.
I can't wire my head or unwire my head.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I can do is be in quest of understanding.
Yeah.
So I can respect somebody else's choice and orientation.
Yeah, my sexuality is fluid. So when I say I'm fluid, I mean I'm attracted to the different sexes, but when I'm in a relationship, I'm in the relationship.
You've come out with this identity of yours. You made it. People know about it. It's a tough journey.
It is
It's
very
a tough journey for you. It's a
Yeah.
tough journey for everybody who are along with you. What's your advice to people like me just to even accept the fact that this is what it is and there's nothing wrong with it?
just being neutral to them and saying, okay, and allow them to go through the process. Because usually
Creative Spark Plug is a black book of creative journeys. In this podcast, we speak with creative individuals. It inspires youngsters, it gives insight into creative lives, and it nourishes the ones feeling challenged. Today, we are speaking with Nidhi Mariam. I met her a little more than a decade ago, and I saw her as an artist, and today she's here with us as definitely an artist, but multiple other places that she's creating impact, and we're curious about her story of life and things that she wants to share and how she got to do what she does. Nidhi,
Get into
I
it.
also read your name as Nidhi Mariam Jacob.
yes.
So is the whole thing your name today? Or is it Nidhi Jacob, Nidhi Mariam?
So when I sign my paintings, it's Nidhi Jacob, because otherwise it's too long. But otherwise, yeah, it is Nidhi Mariam Jacob.
And Mariam is your mom's name.
Mariam is my middle name. Instead of, it was supposed to be Rosemary. Thank God it wasn't. But they said, oh my God, her cheeks are so pink. Let's name her Rosemary. But then it became Mariam. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's Nidhi Mariam Jacob,
Yes.
artist. I love her art. At some point of time, I would love to own one. Actually, I want a wall full of it, right? Because my personal take on it is that it has a certain feel which I personally would go to if I want calm or if I want something soothing. That's how I see her work. But that's my personal POV, and nobody should be biased by that. Please see her work for yourself and decide. Nidhi, where did you start? You appeared in Bangalore, you appeared somewhere else?
I mean, I've always been in Bangalore,
Hmm.
but, and I've been painting my whole life. I've painted on everything. As you know, you've probably
Yeah.
seen my work since college. I was painting and drawing and things like that. And I was exploring different styles when I was younger. And I just knew I loved it, but my parents wanted me to do medicine. And, I went and did my medical school exam. And then finally, the last minute, I said, no, I don't want to do it. And I got into graphic design. And I actually worked as a graphic designer in an ad agency for a couple of years. And then at some point, I said, I cannot sit at a computer anymore. I cannot sit in one place. I need to start working with my hands. And so I explored so many things like embroidery and clay and sculpture. And then I just started telling people, listen, I'll paint on anything for you. Give me a trunk, give me a fan, give me a pot, give me anything, fabric. And I started painting and doing projects for people. And I think at some point, I went through a big life change where, I got separated and then I had my kids. And that was when I figured that if I want to make a living and I want to make a living doing something that I love, then I will have to find my own style. I loved the botanical art space, but botanical art has millions of talented people. And there's so much out there in terms of a botanical art space. So I was kind of searching for a style. And it was really important for me to, at some point, say, I am a painter and I am in the fine art space. I never went to art school, so I don't know any of the jargon. I don't know art history as well as I should and things like that. So I started working towards that. And I don't know if I've told you this or you've heard this before, but at some point, this friend of mine bought IKEA furniture or something. And she had this huge box. She bought a table and she had these things and it was lying in her landing. And I said, Ida, can I take that piece? And at that point, I was going through a financial thing because I was not very financially, not, I wouldn't say independent, but not aware in that way because I was the only child. My parents were like, you don't worry, we'll take care of you kind of thing. And I was married and I was doing work always, but I didn't have that thing of investing, all that. So for me at this point, I'll be 50 next year. I mean, that has been the biggest growth journey for me, honestly, where I've become financially aware and this thing. Anyway, I'll keep digressing. So then I took Ida's board and I cut it up into 4 squares. I didn't have money to buy canvas and stuff at that point, which is just 10 years ago, not very long ago. And I painted this present style that I do and I'm known for, the fantasy gardens. I painted it was only this much. And I did this very dense, illustrative style, which I had not yet seen in the botanical art space. Very graphic, very simple lines. You've seen my work, it's like very childlike, I'm not trying to make anything realistic. It's my interpretation of a rose or a lotus or whatever. And so I painted that and I put it on Instagram, which I didn't even use at that point. And actually my partner Bhavna was the one who said, you don't have Instagram, put your work on it. I wasn't very confident about my work. And I put it out and Aarti Gupta, I always talk about her, it's so amazing. She's a collector in Bangalore, now a very good friend. She called me or messaged me and said, that thing that you've put on Instagram, she said, there's something there. And she said, I want to buy it now because Nidhi, I'm going to tell you in 3 years, I won't be able to afford you. And I just laughed and I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And she said, I'm going to buy it now, make me another one. And she said, keep at it. Just keep this going. I sold her that painting for like 5,000, 8,000 bucks, that one.
तुमने क्यों नहीं खरीदा था? इसे investment क्या था भैया?
And so I kept at it and then I kept posting. And because I was really clear that I wanted to do art and make a living. And a lot of my work has come from need, honestly, because I was in a space where I was like, my God, I have 2 kids. I have to send them to school. I have to pay my rent. I have to pay my bills. I had a farm with like cows and goats and chicken and I had to pay salaries and, feed everybody. And so I just also, I think what is the word? I kind of made a plan for myself and I did project as this person who is working like crazy. And I started just putting my work out there. Small pieces were selling. And then slowly galleries started noticing the work. And then the fantasy gardens just became a thing. And now, so I work with architects and galleries and stuff. And it's doing really well. So I feel really proud that I made it happen that way.
You should be as well.
Yeah.
Because a little more than a decade ago when I met you, you were already in the space.
Yes, I was.
And I think last year or last to last year, I dropped by to say hello to Kabir. And there was this huge ass painting behind, which was yours. And I was like, how did you cart it in?
Yes. Oh, yeah. That big piece. Yes.
And they are a world apart in terms of where I saw you. Not that what you were doing at that point of time was inferior in any way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's so much evolution. I was like, wow. And of course, size matters. Like it's like
yes, yeah.
For the lack of a better term, it's almost intimidating. But there's a wow factor too.
Yeah.
So you definitely should be proud.
Yeah.
Nidhi, I'll take you back in time in some sense because it's a bit of a cliche. Yet at the same time, I have very little to prove the cliche wrong. Anybody who I feel has an expression, thus an artist. Whatever the medium is to pour out. Also, in the way that we look at artists, it's their art today that gives us an insight into who they are.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's no documentation of ton of artists,
Hmm.
but there's so much we've made out of these master artists
Yes.
from the work they have done, the colors they have used, the way they have textured things, the way they have layered their proportions,
Yeah.
what they chose to put in prominence and what they chose to hide, little anecdotes and all of that. When I look at your painting,
Hmm.
there is a sense of serenity, calm, yet joy, almost childlike.
Yes.
I could be the butterfly jumping around
Yeah.
and playing around,
Thank
right?
you.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that you?
In many ways, it's me. My paintings are mostly, of course, I have a deep love for nature. And it heals me. And every time I'm like not feeling good about myself, I'll run to a park and sit under a tree and look at flowers for a couple of hours or like, and feel better. But my mother had a huge influence on my work because she was a avid gardener and I would say naturalist. And so was her father, my grandfather. And I lost her. She passed away 2 years ago.
Awesome.
And so now at this point, I feel like I'm just bringing her to life with each piece. And yes, I intend to bring joy to whoever views my work. I intend to bring serenity and calm through the work. I wouldn't say I am serene and joyous all the time. I mean, I go through like I said, perimenopause is driving me insane because even if you look at my Instagram, I say premenopausal nut because, so yeah, that's my description of myself, artist and premenopausal nut. So, no, so I'm not joyous and calm and serene all the time, but that's the beauty of having a studio where I can go and make these paintings because that's my escape. And yeah.
Where is the escape for all the other emotions that you feel?
So I do a lot of other things. So the thing is, I feel like I was really hustling in the first 5-6 years of finally when I said, oh my God, my work's getting recognized. I have to be in this show. I have to be in that show. I have to be this thing. But now over the last couple of years, I feel like I have slowed down, not with my work. I'm still painting a lot, but I'm exploring other things. And that helps me put my emotions and my progress as a human being in place. So I dance, I do theater, music is a big thing for me. I actually wanted to be a DJ like 6 months ago, but it's really hard. And I love learning magic. And also at this point, I feel like I'm starting to explore different sides of myself through eroticism, through desire, because as you get older, you realize that eroticism is not just sex. It's so much more. You can be walking through a field and a leaf touches your thigh and it excites you. So I feel like all those things, prayer and meditation, watching my cats, doing things like that are the other ways that I kind of sort things out for myself.
How many cats do you have?
I have 2. But I've had like 20 through the years.
Okay. I want to
Yeah.
go back to the farm story one.
Yeah.
Because I think it's, at least in my head, and
Yeah.
correct me there as well.
Yeah.
Your farm was your original inspiration for a depiction.
Yes. Yeah.
Is the farm still there?
Yes, the farm is still there. Again, my mother bought the space 18 years ago.
Is Farm Warriors or something?
Graceland. It's called
Graceland
Graceland.
Warriors.
Yeah. And my mother wanted to name it, she was like a bit of a crazy Christian. And so she said, when we get the farm, we'll name it something. She wanted to call it Church of the Firstborn. Okay. And I freaked out and I was like, oh my God, we need to find something that's kind of here and there. So I said, Mama, what about a farm full of grace? Can we call it Graceland? So a lot of people think it's after Elvis, but it's not. So yes, Graceland is there. She bought the space and she had a way of taking landscapes and just transforming them into beauty. So actually, yes, it was not barren land. It was, steppe agriculture. It was that. And she just dug through places, made ponds there, like, put rocks here. One did this, did that, grew trees here. And she just transformed the space into this green space. And now after she's gone, I'm kind of trying to things that she wanted to do with the space. I'm continuing to do it. So yes, the farm was a huge inspiration to me. We were stuck at the farm for 2 months. I wouldn't say stuck, but during lockdown, Bhavna, the kids and myself, we went there to spend 3 days. And on the 3rd day, we got a call saying, guys, you can't come back. because of lockdown. Everything's locked down. You can't come back to Bangalore. And it's on the Tamil Nadu border, the farm. So we ended up staying there for 2.5, 3 months almost. And at that time, I slowly started leaving my phone in the house and walking around, Like otherwise you're taking your phone, you're quickly taking pictures because you want your 3 days of experience to be on Instagram or whatever, And I was promoting the place as a homestay as well. So that was like a big thing for me. So that was the time when I would sit on a rock. Kids are doing something, everyone's doing something. And I would watch the beautiful cycle of like a weed, like grow from the seed, dry up, die, and then right next to it, something came back. So that whole process of like birth and life and death and rebirth is actually what brought me to do a lot of my pieces. Yeah.
Did it take you long to switch over from the fact that you started medicine? Of course, you dropped out.
No, I didn't do it at all.
Oh, you went in and walked out.
Yeah. Yeah, I did one exam
Right.
at St. John's in...
Right.
Yeah. And that's it. I came back and I said, listen, I don't want to do medicine. I can't do it. So then I went and did BA or something in Christ College. And yeah. And then I started painting.
Approximately which year was this?
Which year? So I passed out of school in 92, 93, 94. Maybe 2019? No.
No.
Sorry, 2000... No. 1999. I'm a little confused, like 2000s and...
Yeah. No, it
19?
will be 1999
Yeah,
because
1999.
yeah,
I passed out of Christ.
you passed off, and
Yeah.
after that you dove straight in. No, you
No,
did
then-
graphic design.
Yeah, I worked as a graphic designer. There also, I just joined an agency. I didn't know how to use Corel Draw and Photoshop. It was called Pentagon Communications.
Yeah,
Sadhana and...
there are tons of agencies there. It was the time of the...
Yeah, when I quit Pentagon and then I was freelancing for a while. So I worked with WorldSpace. I worked with a lot of architects.
Ah.
So I used to do the WorldSpace weekly or monthly magazine. It was great fun. So working with music.
Hey, were you around when Rave happened? The Rave magazine.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I still have a collection of them and the posters.
I had also for a while. Yeah, the posters were amazing.
Yeah.
So I really loved working on the magazine for WorldSpace. It was called The Voice.
Mm.
And I don't know if you know Darshan and all those,
Darshan
that gang,
who?
Prashant.
Darshan Manakal.
Yes.
He's married to my closest friend.
Oh my God, yeah.
Komal Jyoti.
Yeah, so Darshan, Prashant Vasudevan and all those boys, I used to
Yes.
work with them on the
Man,
magazine.
world is such a
Yeah.
funny place.
Yeah. So
Dundee.
Dundee, that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I did all that. What was the thing? So like timeline wise, my life has been quite a blur because I was a big
Too much,
party girl also. So like sections of my life have kind of just blurred out. But for me, I did have a very life-changing experience with psychedelics. I did ayahuasca.
I was about to just drop that name.
Yeah.
Which
So
one did you-
everything else, okay, all the party drugs.
You did do
And
the whole process.
yes, I did a ceremony
Yeah.
in
the
In Bangalore.
with shamans. No, we went to Goa and there were these shamans who came from Peru.
It's a very
Uh-huh.
religious thing. You
Yeah, I
can't.
know.
Yeah, so it's not, it's not like you go and it's not a party. It's a ceremony.
Right.
And honestly, actually, after I did the ayahuasca, a lot of things changed for me. And the thing is, it does different things for different people. But for me, can I tell you a little bit of my
Sure, go for
experience? So I went to Goa and I did it with this friend. We went together. It was actually after my divorce. The first time I was actually going on a trip on my own without my children, without partner, nobody. I just went, I took a bus, I think, to Goa, which was the first time I'd ever done that. Okay. And went to Goa, went to this thing. It was a day ceremony, afternoon to night. And there were the shamans. They play live music. They play guitars and drums. It's so beautiful. And then the main guy, the main shaman, he'll tell you, like, pick an intention for yourself if there's anything, 2, 3 things. And you walk in a line, just like you take communion in church. You go in a line and he gives you a glass and you take it and you go and sit down. And you take it. I went and sat down and we had to do a diet, which I followed like to the T for a month. So no oil, no sugar, no salts, no meats, no alcohol. So I followed it. And they said, if you do that, the ayahuasca goes into your body and usually it purges you first of all your bodily stuff. And then it goes into your mind. And then you start hallucinating and stuff. But for me, because I followed the died so well. I took it and then I was sitting down and I was like, nothing's happening to me. And I can see other people kind of lying down. And then I heard this voice, like an old wisdom keeper or something. This woman just started talking to me and she said, relax. They give you buckets, okay, to puke because you're purging. Like it's such a small bucket. And I saw a girl who was like 4 feet something who puked 3 of those buckets.
Wow.
Okay, like just it was coming out. So I'm waiting to puke. I'm waiting to go to the bathroom. It's not happening. And this voice says, it's not going to happen to you. So forget about it. Forget about that and let yourself go. And then the voice kind of just led me to different things. And my intention, when he said intention, I said, I want to stop smoking and I need to figure my life out, things like that. And the voice said, forget about your smoking thing because that's not big right now. I get up. Like it was like, it just guided me through the whole thing and said, you will start teaching children, which was a huge thing that I used after I came back to pay my bills. Like my rent got paid by doing art classes for kids, you know. And then so many things about things I'd held in my body for so long. Like she would say, sit, don't sit like this. Open your legs, you know, things like that. And it just freed me. I came back. And a lot of people say once you do the process, you don't feel like coming back home. You want to escape from your world. I was so happy to come back home after that. And then I just put it out on somewhere on WhatsApp. I sent out a message saying, guys, I want to take art class. I got like 20 kids to come in for my class. I started teaching. And honestly, like when you said, like, where did the work come from, Joy? I think I learned it from the kids that I taught. So a lot of what I taught the children, I unlearned what I thought is structure and this thing. Because like I said, I didn't go to art school. And I was just kind of exploring art on my own. So, yeah. So it was it was life-changing, the ayahuasca
I've
experience.
heard people say that it has been life-changing.
Yeah,
And
it
I've had
definitely
difficult
was.
experiences as well.
Yes, yeah. People do have difficult. I guess it depends on where you are in your mind. And and you have to have the right people guiding you, you know. Because now they just do it. They'll take you to some hotel and say, we're doing a ceremony and stuff. It's, you have to be very careful. Or just go to Peru, or go to the Amazon and do it there with the right people. So, yeah, that was like quite something for me.
Bhavana happened before or after that?
Bhavana was happening at that
Right.
point. Yeah.
Right.
So she was the one who said, you know, just go, just do this if you want to. Because I'd been wanting to go for many years, but something holds you back, right? And I just knew that that was the right time. And yeah, it was superb.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was in, so when I said, I'm waiting to puke, and this voice said, you're not going to puke, forget about it. Just sit down, relax. I was transported into a forest. And through the 8 hours, I was in a forest. There were people around me, I could see them, but I was in the forest with a river and monkeys and flowers just blooming. Yeah.
Nothing scary, crazy, nothing.
There was a bit of, some things were a little scary, like you know, you can, they call it acid brain, where you start getting paranoid, but you can so easily shift, right? Like even when you're in a panic state or you're having a panic attack, there is a possibility, if you've trained yourself, to just breathe and shift. So yeah, I had done that a lot. Like you tell yourself, right? Like even now when I have thoughts, why didn't they invite me for that thing or whatever? And then I'll tell myself, stop it, Nidhi, stop doing that, you know? And then you just kind of shift. So that does happen, but yeah.
How much does it overlap with a spiritual experience?
For me, it's a big overlap. It's everything. I feel like, first of all, to be spiritual, I feel like you have to be so open. And your openness to accept what comes to you is spirituality, I feel. The thing is, I was bound down by religion a lot in my family. We came from a Malayali Syrian Christian background.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So when I fainted in church a couple of times when I was young, when I was 9 or 10, because, I don't know if you know the Syrian Christian thing. They have those frankincense, the priests wear these big topies, the Syrian Christian priests, and they have the frankincense thing that they're putting around. So the church is full of smoke. The women are on this side, men on this side. And I fainted in church twice. And my grandmother said, I think there's a devil in her. Like she's, you know, she doesn't deserve, like, she doesn't deserve to come. She says, there's something wrong with this child. For me, it was a very spiritual experience. I think there's a big overlap. There's a lot of people who believe now that doing these psychedelic things can cure PTSD and cure panic, anxiety, and cure ADHD and things like that, if done in the right way with medical experts and stuff. So yeah, I would say for me, it is a very spiritual experience. I mean, it's come down from the ages. It's come down from the forests. So this is not a joke, at least with something like ayahuasca. It's come down generations where like shamans and people use this to bond their communities, to they would do it before they had babies. When the babies came in, they would have ceremonies. They would have children doing ayahuasca at the age of 7 and be so in touch with nature. And I feel like spirituality is, just like trying to be one with this world that we are destroying in so many ways.
So Nidhi, you grew up in Bangalore, studied in Bangalore. You mentioned that you've always been doing art.
Yes.
But it's only over the last 10 years that you have found an expression to the art. So what kind of art were you practicing that led you to that the last 10 years?
I was doing a lot of murals. And honestly, I can't say I was an abstract painter or a cubist or I can't describe myself as any of those. But I was just exploring. So I started with shapes and forms, and I did a lot of murals, and I done a lot of homes in Bangalore. And, a lot of my friends and clients were kind enough to give me work at that point while I was exploring this, like the flowers and nature. And like I said, it was inspired from my mother. So, yeah.
During school, what led you to do were you doing a lot of
Drawing?
sketching, painting, drawing?
Yes, I think being a single child led me to spend a lot of time on my own. And actually, the persona that I have, like I was telling Bashu, of this like very flamboyant, like, oh my God, I love everybody kind of thing. I'm actually quite a loner. I love spending time by myself. And I think it comes from my childhood, where I would have an altar in my room when I would practice magic and think that I could bend spoons and stuff like that.
You could?
At least I thought I could. My mother will walk into the room and there'll be like candles lit up on this thing, and she'd be like, oh my God, this child is going to light this house on fire.
That his grandmother said this.
Yeah.
After fainting twice.
Yeah. So they were like, this girl, I don't know what is going on with her. So yeah, I love spending time on my own, and I feel like drawing and painting and like so many things that happened in childhood, families are crazy. So there was a lot going on, and I think I processed a lot of stuff through just sitting in my room and drawing, or running out of the house, going to the backyard and drawing. So yeah, that was my way of escaping and finding a world for myself outside of real life, I feel.
Nice. So that led you to the decision of not taking up medicine?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was 16, 17. But yeah, you could say that working with my hands has been something that I've always wanted to do. So
in today's time, when there's so much of digital stuff that's happening, even architectural drawings are being made by AutoCAD.
Yeah.
Now with AI coming in, all of this being done through the computer. What's your take on the need to do with hand and practice? Because that's something that is probably being lost. I don't know what the education system is like in today's time.
Yeah.
But what's your take on that?
I feel like technology and all these things, like they're bringing it in schools and stuff. I think it's a downward spiral, honestly. Of course, it's important that our kids are like equipped for what's going to be what the future is going to be in terms of AI and technology and everything, which I have no clue about, honestly. But when we talk about an art, like handmade work, artists' work, tribals who were like folk art, painters and sculptors and everything, I always feel like whatever AI creates or whatever, I mean, I really appreciate graphic artists, of course. graphic art is huge and there's so much of concept and thing that goes into it. But when I paint, I mean, it's flowers, it's a painting. But the thing is, I've spent 3 weeks painting that piece. And I have gone through so much during those 3 weeks. It might be struggling as a mother or struggling with my piece or feeling extreme joy. And all that is gone into that piece of canvas. The energy is in that piece. So I feel like whoever's taking that piece home, I've said this before, is taking home a part of the artist. And I feel like that is the beauty of buying original hand-painted works and things like that. And I still feel at this point, I have a long list of commissions of people who want to buy original works. And like I told you, I've heard of places where they're just taking my work and printing it out. It's so easy now. You can go on Pinterest or Instagram, take a photo, print it, and put it out there. But I think there's a certain section, a niche of people who still understand the importance of original art and how it forms our history and how it is like a record of our times. Like what was happening during this period, the the 2000s, what was happening, what was the art that was being made at that time. And the value of these works, I feel, is really high still. But I don't know where it's going to go in terms of AI, because you can just give a prompt and say, give me flowers in a forest, and you get a piece.
Probably your
So,
painting would be picked up.
yeah, definitely. It has been picked up. It has. So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to talk about actually. Like I said, I worked so hard to get into the fine art space, right? I worked really hard without representation. I advocated myself. I used social media and all that. And I put my work out there, started working, and then finding my way into the space. So still, and also when I started this, it was a need to get financially independent. So I was working really hard, trying to sell my works, not feeling imposter syndrome and think I can charge a little bit more, whatever, and start selling my works at a higher price and things like that. So it was about the money, but also I believe it's integrity. And I get called by many brands, like clothing brands, textiles, furniture, different things, and say, we'll pay you this much, just give us 2 of your paintings, right? And I still say, listen, I fought so hard to be in the fine art space. So then it doesn't become about the money. I'm like, I want to stay here. So any product now that is there with my work is not authorized by me at all, is something that I just want to say,
So
yeah.
also, like, since the expression that you are doing is
Yeah.
more to do with nature, and
Yes.
a lot of people generally find it generic, but
Yes.
there is so much of the character that goes in the way you draw the flowers, the colors
Yes.
that you put in, the color combinations, plus, like
Yeah.
you said, the emotions that go in and the choice of colors that happen at the time of the emotion being within.
Yeah.
That's what the originality stands for.
Yeah. Like
But-
some people say, oh, you're just painting flowers. Don't you get bored? And for me, it's so much more than that. Yes, I'm painting just flowers, but there's so much history that comes with it. My family, my mother, my exploration of myself. And, I have little secrets in all my paintings that I can't. But there are things where I say, I say a prayer, and there's numbers, there's codes, there's all that go into my paintings. When I talk to a client, I listen to them, I think about who they are and what they stand for. And there might be something there that is connected to that part of that person, which might not be visible to anybody. But yeah, so all that goes in, It's not like I'm saying, let me just paint one garden with flowers.
Also, it's not like let's say an M.F. Hussain painting,
Yeah.
or a Picasso's painting,
Yeah.
which somebody sees it and says, okay, this is of this artist.
Yeah.
So in that kind of a situation, when
I can see her work and I was like, ye lagta hai Nidhi hai. I can identify.
Yeah, now
like,
it's become a...
now,
yeah.
when more and more people
Yeah.
see it, yes, it becomes familiar.
Yeah.
But generally, when people would would take it as a regular nature paintings. I mean, no offense to the thing,
No,
but
not at all. Yeah.
I think that's what generally people think about, unless they have a appreciation for art.
Yeah.
So when they're picking it up and reproducing that, making products out of it, making money, what can an artist do about this? I mean, are there laws? Is there anything in the favor of the artist that they can do? to protect something like that?
Yes. So there is a system where you can. So the thing with copyright in India, I'm not fully familiar with it because I've not gone into it extensively, which I think I should. I've actually met a IP lawyer and she was like, this is what you can do, keep a notice ready for different people and stuff like that. But like I was saying, as an artist, I'm so kind of like, I don't want my energy to, get poisoned in a way. So I keep saying, no, it's okay, let it be, let it be. I fought for it before, I let it go. But there are things, I know that you can copyright a painting. But the thing with art is, for painters, I think, you have to do a copyright and send documents for each painting that you make. I think it's a pretty laborious process. So I don't think most people do it. Like now, I do have a signature style. But I think, which is what I'm going to start exploring in the next year or so, where you can copyright a signature style, which I do have. I don't know how it works, but I mean, there are ways, but it's not as easy, I feel, here, if I'm right. I mean, I don't know if things have changed in the last 1 year, but it's not as easy to copyright your work.
But there will be so many
As an
artists
artist.
across the country with whom something like this will be
Happened.
going on and would have
Yeah.
happened. So
There's tons of us like struggling. We'll see, our painting put in on a sweater or on a cup or a mug or a bag. And yeah, and like when I share something saying, look, this is my work, it's not mine, it's been ripped off. And other artists write to me and say the same thing happened to me. It's really like a sad situation. And sometimes when like we stand up for it and sometimes we just let it go and people will say it's okay, take it as a compliment or whatever. So
what can an end consumer do? At the end of it, the person who's buying it, he likes it, he or she likes it, they buy it.
Yeah.
But there must be some sort of ethical alignment that they can also do that, okay, if I see something like this, they go and ask the product. I mean, are there some things like that can be done from the brand, whoever is selling that particular, say, a printed dress?
Yeah.
From a layman's perspective, when I go into, say, any lifestyle or trends or something, there's so many patterns that we see. So we never think that, okay, maybe this is a painting of XYZ artist and they could have printed it, and would they have a copyright or a permission to reproduce? So how does somebody even recognize something like that?
So the thing is, if you know an art, like how it's happened with me, how I found out about these things, because I don't go out that much, I'm not shopping or, things. People send me the work. So now it's like I have a huge collector base and I have a nice following on Instagram. So it's people who message me saying, hey, Nidhi, your stuff, they stop buying from the brand. So, you do there's loyalty in some way, but not everyone's like that, right? Like, who cares? So that is the only thing that I see where somebody will message me and say, I'm never buying from them again. It's like pets, right? It's like buying from the breeders. Yeah, if you're going to keep buying from the breeders, they're going to keep doing it and they're going to, so I guess ethically in that way. But then there has to be that loyalty to a brand. Like, see, Van Gogh's work now is everywhere, right? It's on cups and hats and T-shirts and people are making money.
I mean, coming to that.
And even I would go to a Van Gogh exhibition. Like I went and I wanted to buy a coaster with the sunflowers, like.
But those, like when I went to Vienna, we went to a museum, which was an art museum, and it had a lot of artists' paintings and all displayed there. So I'm assuming that the museum would have already had some sort of a contract with the...
with the artist. Or the fact that they have procured it in a certain source. And now they claim ownership to that. Like if you look at Second World War, one of the things that happened is thousands and thousands of art pieces were siphoned off from one country because the Germans were invading. Right? And people got to save those artworks. Now, there was stealing or whatever. The point is that a lot of times one is unable to trace where the artwork has come from. But you know where it is. And there is a process of officializing, saying
authenticity.
Authenticizing the artwork. That it is that guy's artwork indeed. And if you're unable to, because a lot of them were stolen, taken away without rights or exchanged in an unfair or unfair manner. So then you re-establish saying that so and so person owns this artwork, bought from so and so place, but now is the official owner of it. Until somebody in the lineage, for example, comes to lay a claim on it or something. There is always a caveat.
So, what drove you to fix to the style that you are doing right now? What got you to that stage?
So I wanted to have a signature style. And like I said, the botanical art world is so vast and so much of talent. So I feel like to get into the fine art space, the signature style really helps. And once this thing came out and it got recognized, I have really kind of made a living with it. So yeah, that's why I've just stuck with it, and it gives me a lot of joy. So until it gives me a lot of joy, I will keep doing it. And like I said, when people say you're only painting flowers, don't you feel like experimenting? I do experiment, but I also do a lot of other things as an artist. Art is everywhere. Like the way I live is art. The way my home is art. My animals are art. So I think that's my way of doing different things and just still feeling satisfied with what I'm doing. And really, I do love flowers so much. So yeah.
And
So I've stuck with this style, and it's doing well. So
in this context,
yeah.
How does the cost of an art piece get defined? And how does somebody know that, okay, if we are paying 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, or even 5,000 for something? Because for them, it's a perceived value.
Yes.
For the end user, sometimes, especially lay person, from my perspective, when I'm buying art to put into the interiors of a house,
Yeah.
sometimes they're like, oh, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
So how can one justify, as an architect also, if I'm to justify to my clients that this piece is worth what it is that you're paying for? How does that get defined?
I don't know how this works, but for me, like if I was going to buy a piece of art, I would look at how long the longevity of the artist's work, like how many years they've been working. Does it look like they're going to be working for the next 20 years? How long have they been painting? And for me, the artist themselves is very important. Like who they are, what they are. I might not buy from an artist who I don't think is a very nice person. That's personally me. So in my case, my paintings sell for a lot of money right now. The pricing is big. But I feel like with each client, I make sure that they get to know me a little and where I'm coming from. And so I don't know how to really answer this question. Also, I would say when I was starting off, I was trying to get be represented by institutions, right? I did a project, Breathing Canvas, which we can talk about later, anyway. So I started that, and I was trying to get an institution, a gallery or something to represent me and show my works, right? Because for me, that was of so much value. For me, it was of so much value, the story that I was bringing from that project. And nobody took it. I mean, nobody wanted to take it. They're like, we don't know what is the... because it was me painting on the human body. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And then finally I had to say, you know what? I value this work, right? I am going to advocate. I'm going to be my own advocate. I'm going to take all my savings, put it into this space and have this exhibition because I believe in it. And I put out the work, and then of course it got recognized and stuff like that. So I think also it is about the artist. Nowadays, you know that, I do work with a lot of galleries and stuff. Galleries take 50%, 40% from the artist. And I've always thought, like, at some point I'm going to start doing something where I can take 5% from the artist and give them the money that they deserve. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like galleries or institutions give value also. They will make it seem like, oh, this artist is established. You have that, coming up artist, established artist, the masters. So I think, value is ascertained in different ways.
But are there any organizations which give the value, like a valuation, who do the valuation for the art?
So a lot of galleries do that.
Galleries are more private, or are they?
Yeah. No, now you have online galleries. There are all kinds of spaces that promote art, and do showings and stuff like that. I don't know how that works actually with
Because
pricing and
generally
stuff.
there are layers to every trade. Every money-making system has
Yes.
layers.
Yeah.
The actual doer or the maker
Yeah.
is, I mean, I don't think it is right for me to say. But yeah, I mean, the fact is that the maker doesn't get as much as what the actual product value is
Yeah.
that it is being sold at. Be it a farmer, they spend 6 months to a year or even 3 months to grow that product, the produce, and then tomatoes get sold at 2 rupees a kg to 20 rupees a kg. But the middleman is the one who makes the maximum money.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just giving an analogy of vegetable, but it's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
Be it poultry, chicken, unless you're selling it directly.
Yes.
Now, either you have a platform to sell directly, which in today's time is available, but then again, it costs money.
Yeah.
So, like even for us, what we are doing here is somebody is paying for it.
Yeah.
And who the somebody is, it can go from anywhere, but there is somebody paying for it.
Yeah.
Because if it has to reach the masses, we have to boost our episodes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So anything online that becomes viral is actually not something that one person puts today and has become viral on its own. Maybe very few such content would be.
Yeah.
But virality also can be created and forced on with money.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
So even for an artist to sell on a platform, they also need money.
Yes.
And if somebody doesn't have the money, how do they do that? So even with that technology, the platform's availability to do that, that's my perspective.
I mean, that's a tough, like art is tough. I mean, artists, the thing struggling artist is real. It's a real thing, For me, I would say I got lucky in a way. I mean, my stars just aligned and things just worked out for me where I could say, I don't need an institution to represent me. I can do this myself. I fought really hard to make that happen. Yes, I started valuing my works more and more, but that is my personal thing. But yes, it is difficult for artists now with everything that's happened. Like you said, you can pay money and advertise your stuff on, and unless you say, you know what, I'm not going to do it that way, which if you have a chance, if you can pay 600 rupees on Instagram and put an ad for 2 weeks or whatever it is, so then that advantage. So then there's the thing of privilege, talent, all those things. Yeah. So
I have a very dark thing to the question you asked, actually. At some place, I just feel that considering there is valuation involved, right? Art is something where, while valuation is difficult in the true sense of the term, like what are you adding up? Numbers. There isn't a data point of numbers, right?
Yeah.
Except for the fact that somebody's art is getting popular. And one is able to quantify that.
Because the reason why I asked that is, let's say, in history, we have had Picasso, but there was also artists like Mondrian, who had just lines, colorful lines, black lines, one yellow,
red and yellow,
and to a layman, that might not mean anything. But then those paintings are being sold for 10 million, 20 million.
Yeah. I think that is, that's history. So I feel like that's how the value comes. It's like getting an antique or jewelry or furniture or whatever.
Also, there's lobbying also that happens, right?
Yeah.
Right. If you've got an influential art connoisseur who wants to patronize you and upsell your work, he will first go ahead and create a bubble of the fact that...
Like what we were talking about, connections.
Yeah.
The right connection.
Yeah.
And then the desired question shoots up.
Yeah.
And that allows an artist to be able to charge a premium. Because now the demand is up and the supply is little.
Yeah.
It's from that point of view, it's a very good cornerstone for capitalism. If I can sell it for more, I will. There's no ethics involved there. It's just pure business.
Yeah.
Okay. Nidhi, I want to get into a little bit of a personal space. And if you find that awkward, uncomfortable, or I'm crossing the line, please let me know.
Yes.
Right? Partly I'm curious about it. And another part of me also feels that a lot of things as Indians especially, we kind of cover it up.
Yeah.
Anything which kind of tends to interfere with standard code of conduct or a standard moral code or certain things which are norm. The moment we start questioning that, or we do something different from that, we kind of get a whole ecosystem of people, feeling uncomfortable about it.
Oh, we have something to say.
I think, in my experience, it starts from the closest ones because there is a shift that happens, and the pushback comes as behavior and resistance to that shift that happens inside you. But the behaviors and the actions are embodied by you, and that becomes, hey, why is she or he behaving unusually? That becomes a resistance. It's a natural course of action in some sense. I think any change from that point of view, anything that is normalized, if it has to start, instead of going in this direction, even if it has to change direction, there is a lot of resistance, right?
Yes.
And you seem to have done too many bold things.
Yeah.
It's not a switch that turned on and life changed.
Yeah.
You maneuvered, you
Yes.
changed direction.
Yeah.
And one is to cover your journey, mind, relationships, manifestations. You also need a release because you're a boiling kettle with the whistle turned off.
Yeah.
Where do you steam out, right? And plus, while you're maneuvering, hey, you're looking for a radar that you want to be in control of, so that maneuvering has a direction. You don't want to be lost.
Yeah.
You're already in a space that is looking to change direction.
Yeah.
Right. So the little that I know about you, and I'm daring to get into that space, is you had your kid and you reached this milestone or this place in your life wherein you started asking existential questions. You were suddenly responsible for another human being, which you had made, right? There was a context of that. And then you went out to a context of exploring. Will it be all right for me to call you gender fluid?
Yes.
Right. And how did this journey happen? While one track
I'm
is the
not
journey.
gender fluid. Gender fluid is not the word. I identify as she.
Right.
My sexuality is fluid.
Sexuality is fluid. Okay.
Yeah.
When you say fluid, do you shift or you found a shift due course of time? How did that happen?
Should I start when I was a child?
Sure. Wherever you are comfortable.
So I always knew I liked girls also. But like I said, no, I was watching my parents, watching our family, girl, boy. I was conditioned to think that that's what it is. And I was a very nice child when I was small. I was good. I wanted everyone to be happy with me. So I think I just went with that. But I wanted to kiss a girl when I was in school. And I thought, oh, is there something wrong with me? I had crushes on some female teachers. And I like boys as well. I had a lot of friends who were boys. And then I met my ex-husband who was in school. And we fell in love and, got married. So then when this happened, like I said, I had my son, then I had my daughter. And I started looking at my life like, is this it? Like, I think I want to explore myself I think I'm capable of so much more than just going in this normative way of living, So I feel like that's where I started thinking about sexuality and relationships. Actually, as I go now, as I'm getting older, even the relationship that I'm in with my partner, I'm trying to look at it differently in the sense that two people can be together, but things can end at any time, whatever you say, right? You might be like, oh, I'm going to be with this person forever, but that's not a guarantee. So, so I would say my sexuality is fluid. I'm attracted to men and women. I'd say I'm bisexual. How did that come about I don't know. You just know. So when people, like in Christianity, they say it's it's a sin and it's this and it's that. It's not natural. The devil lives in me. So it's like Nidhi. Now, my grandparents are not alive anymore and a few of my aunts and stuff. But otherwise, I was considered this girl who's like off the rails, so crazy. She's always doing something crazy. Now she's become an artist. Now she's with a woman. What is going on with her? But honestly, I just followed. At some point, I think I decided that if I have to be true to myself and actually keep my kids happy, my friends happy, I have to be so true and honest with myself. And I think that's where when I met Bhavna and I fell in love with her, I lost a lot of people in the process. I had friends saying, you're going through a midlife crisis. What are you doing? Like, now, are you saying that now you like women? So I was like, I don't know if I'm gay. I'm or lesbian. I wouldn't say that I would want to label myself in that way. I don't believe in labels at all. I would never say, I wouldn't put a description of myself as Nidhi Mariam Jacob, mom of two. I don't like putting labels on myself. I won't say I'm gay. I won't join a group that says menopausal women on WhatsApp, because when you're saying, oh my God, I'm having hot flushes, there might be a day when I say, I'm feeling fine, I don't have it. So I don't believe in labeling myself in that way. And it's important for me. I mean, it gives me a sense of identity and
Right.
freedom to like be completely honest with myself and go the way I want to live.
I have something to inquire into. Again, and this might sound almost insensitive. A few people very, very close with me are in this space.
Yeah.
Especially in bisexuality.
Yeah.
And within bisexuality also, I have been told that it's a bit of a spectrum.
Yeah.
Right? You might switch.
Yeah.
Right? And I know people intimately who go through this, who've chosen not to have partners because, like, Mashub, I switch tomorrow. Then that becomes unfair to the person with me. So I might as well choose to be where I am, be authentic to whoever I am with, and own the temporary nature of who I am. Not from a life point of view, but the fact that today I like a certain gender.
Yeah.
And tomorrow my mind the other wiring has taken over. Right? This is beyond conditioning.
Yeah.
This is beyond the social conditioning.
Yeah.
In your context, how is it? Are you fluid within the spectrum of bisexuality, or at some point of time you said that, no, I'm going to be with a woman?
I do really believe in love and relationships and long-standing relationships. Actually, I'm very much somebody who likes to have something that is beautiful and secure and full of love. So when I say my sexuality is fluid, I'm not saying I want to go have sex with different people. I do believe in the sacredness of love and a relationship. So for me, it's very different. Like now, my partner and I, we live together. My kids live with us, and we all have our duties as a family. And so there is this thing where, like in the gay community, there's a lot of promiscuity, and people just give themselves the permission to say, I'm gay, so I'm going to sleep around. No, I'm saying I still believe in the beauty of a relationship. You know, I still believe in going the long run. So I don't, I do have friends. I do know people who say, I'm going to stay single so I can do this, that, and that. Then there's polyamory. There's so many different, I don't even know some of the terms now. Like there's so many terms, right? There's a polycule, there's a molecule, there's polyamory, there's situationship, there's that. I sometimes feel so old. I don't understand the terminologies, but there's all those things. And I feel with the wokeness that is happening now with the young children, some of it is very liberating, but I also feel some of it when you hold on to, like say feminism, you say, there are all these things now on, I just hear it from my kids. Basically, there are these memes saying, it's uncool to have a boyfriend. Okay, to the girls. And now when I look at that and I'm telling my daughter, it's lovely to have a boyfriend. It's lovely to fall in love. And then I think, am I saying the right thing, or am I being non-feminist by telling her that? So it's like, I think the culture right now is so kind of like it's like you have to be one side or the other. You know what I mean? So people, like you said, these friends who are exploring this, I guess they will find their way through it. But it doesn't mean being cruel to another person. You can't just use that as an excuse. It's almost like saying, I'm an asshole, deal with it. You know what I mean? So I feel like love and kindness and everything comes into it. So yeah, for myself, I would say I do believe in love and long-standing, long-lasting relationships and stuff like that. But so when I say I'm fluid, I mean, I'm attracted to the different sexes, but when I'm in a relationship, I'm in the relationship.
There's one on
I'm
one.
there. Yeah. I mean, I would happily be. So it depends, right, on two people. Like now I'm My partner and I have been together for almost 10 years. We are looking at different ways of, there are open relationships, there's different things. I can be happily monogamous and I can be happily open. That's the way I am. I can be, that's the thing. So for me, that's the fluidity. Because I know that I can love 3 different people with as much intensity at the same time. I know I can do it. But if I'm with somebody who likes monogamy, I'm happy to do that as well. And say, it's not worth it going through, because there is jealousy. We're human beings. So there is all those things. Yeah, so it's a very complex topic.
Yeah, it is a complex topic. And it is more difficult for us to have this conversation because I'm cisgender, right?
Yeah.
Right? Very clearly so.
Yeah.
For me to, I can't wire my head or unwire my head.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I can do is be in quest of understanding.
Yeah.
So I can respect somebody else's choice and orientation.
Yeah.
Like I literally share my apartment with somebody who's gay.
Yeah.
Raging gay.
Raging
The
gay.
studies are read. But that being said, do I understand that? No. But the only comprehension, if I have to logically say it, I will say that I am attracted to women, and in the same way he's attracted to men.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's probably easier to understand.
Yeah.
And when fluidity comes inside, it's like creating space in my mind saying that this happens. I will never find out in this lifetime what that is because I am wired a certain way.
Yeah.
It may sink in with the social norm and structuring.
Yeah.
But this is who I am.
Yeah.
Right? Likewise, for women at large as well, right? Like I'm a guy. I will never actually ever understand what it takes to be a mother.
Yeah.
So what can I do? The only thing I can do is, in some sense, create space in my mind.
Yeah.
And be open to the fact that I will inherit an understanding. Like he knows how to be a parent. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because he's been a father.
Yeah.
Right? And he is a father, so he knows what parenting implies to a guy. I don't have first-hand experience. It's what I learned from others.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that
I think the most important thing, Bashu, is you said, I don't understand it, but it's your kindness that has made you where your kindness to just look at a person as a person, and you have a roommate or housemate that's gay. You might not get it completely. But I think in these times, just kindness for human beings and saying, I might not, it's with everything, right? Even our politics.
Yeah.
I have friends who might be very right. But, before when I was younger, I'd be like, I don't want to talk to them anymore. But at this point, I feel like we really need that kind of kindness and compassion for people that we don't understand and don't agree with, and see their point of view and see their history and where they're coming from, to, what I'm saying? So I feel,
space for that.
and make space for that. Yeah.
I have something to ask more personal from my side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the concern in your eyes. Father of 3 daughters, go for it.
No, not in that perspective. So as it is, the topic is very difficult and very, what should I say, generally not talked about, and
Yeah.
not everybody wants to
You
talk
would rather
about it.
put it under the
It's very hard. I have one example after you ask me the question.
And me and my wife always have this. I'm very orthodox in my head, the way I'm wired.
Yeah.
So my wife and myself always have this argument that if my kids turn out gay, what would it be? And like I said, in my head, I'm very orthodox. But
what is orthodox?
Orthodox is, for me, it is not something that I see it as, them being gay cannot be accepted by me. That's the way I am. But I don't know what it will be 10 to 15 years down the line. Because
you
they're too young,
love
right?
your kids. It will change. It might change.
What I wanted to ask is, you've come out with this identity of yours. You made it. People know about it.
Yes.
What was it like for you personally to go through those years of people? I don't know how many people accepted, not accepted, but it's a tough journey.
It is.
It's a tough journey for you. It's a tough journey for everybody who are along with you.
Yeah.
Or your kids and everybody else along with you. Parents would have gone through something, and that was another era.
Yeah.
Now, when my kids grow up, it's going to be another world change. I don't even know if if the way things are going on today, if all of us even will be alive by then or not.
Yeah.
But what's your advice to people like me to make things, I won't say make things easy or not easy, but just to even accept the fact that this is what it is and there's nothing wrong with it? What would you say to somebody like?
So I feel like, say your child at whatever, age 12 came and said that I'm gay. I would say if you're still in a place where you're saying I'm thinking orthodox, I'm thinking this thing, you have to have a level of neutrality to it. You can't, with children especially, you have 3 kids. If you say no or if you say yes too much, either thing will not work for them. If you say it's not, no, you can't do that, you can't explore that, you think they're going to fight it and fight it and fight it, right? And even the other way, oh, you're gay? Come on, let's go buy you some clothes and let's go meet your friend, meet more gay people. Let me take you to a gay event is great. But that also might, so I feel like just being neutral to them and saying, okay, and allow them to go through the process. Because usually I think children know, we all know. I mean, I do, there is the other thing of like the trans thing that's happening right now, where they're allowing kids at 10 and 12 to have gender change surgery.
Shit.
I think that is very dangerous because they say that your what is that? What prefrontal cortex is not
developed.
fully developed till you're 25. So I feel those things are dangerous. But otherwise, when a child comes to you and says, I'm gay, I feel like just being neutral to it and learning through them might help. But if you say this is not okay and stuff, your kids are going to.
How does, I mean, see, life is difficult, but then this makes it even more difficult. So, forget the parent part of it, me being a parent or anybody in general, because we always have this mind frame that no, this is not right, this was right, this is not the right direction. And like he said, there is very strong opinions on in Indian context, sexuality itself is not considered to be something that's spoken about. And on top of that, being a woman expressing their sexual side or even the liking is seen in another light on. It's something that, it's like it's outcasting an outcast. It's like that.
I mean, it's changing, but
But that change is very slow. I mean, I'm hoping that the change happens faster and it becomes, people get more accepting about it, including me.
It's so nice that you're being honest about it, at least.
So,
I feel your children will be your biggest teachers. Not like I'm saying your child will come to you and say they're gay, but I feel like with children, it's just like each person, right? Like now, if I say I'm in love with a woman, for me, it's that human being. For me, I see it that way. It's not male, female. It's that human being for me. But people who are very clear about their sexuality, of course, they just know it's from inside. It's not unnatural, is what I'm trying to say.
So does any of this come out in your paintings, in your work?
Not with my gardens, but I do, like I said, I'm exploring eroticism. So I have this one incident that happened recently where my partner comes into my studio sometimes, and while I'm working, she'll just take photos of me. Okay. Sometimes they're quite sexy. So there was this one picture that I posted recently. You should check it out. I'll show it to you. Where I have I'm working on a small circular piece. So I have a stool here and the piece is here. And I was painting when my partner walked in and she took a picture of me, okay? I'm going to be 50 next year. So even if a photo is being taken, oh, you're taking a picture, let me do this. Let me sit like this. I'm not going to do that. I mean, I'm in my studio, I'm in my home. I will keep my legs as they were, right? So there's a stool, I'm painting, my legs are apart, I'm wearing a long dress, and you can see my thighs. Oh my God, I did not expect it at all. I have so many photos of me in my studio. It's shorts, it's summer. I am not going to close my legs to take a picture, you know what I mean? But the kind of comments I got on that, it went viral, that photo. And then I had Indian men who cared. That's why I was saying, people who don't know how to engage with eroticism. They were my friends, women who were like, oh my God, you look so beautiful. I'm so excited about your show. Actually, the post was, I've started working on my solo show. And then there were men saying, look at her old woman because of the grays. Look at this old woman spreading her legs. Look at this. And like, real, I can't even say the kind of stuff. And then I went back and looked at the picture. And I have like so many women saying, you look so gorgeous. We're so excited about your show. And there were men who were also funny. I was like, okay, humor is fine. But there was so much, like it was so vile, the kind of comments that I got for the thing. I had to remove comments on that post. And then I thought about it. I was like, Indian men in general, right-wing men, I don't know what it is, but they cannot handle a woman having that kind of freedom. They cannot handle eroticism in that way, like beauty. And and as Indians, we have so much of history, right, with the Kama Sutra and everything. We have like, so that really shocked me. And also that made me feel like, okay, maybe I should take that down. And my partner said, do not take it down. We're going to take more photos like that.
I would also say that. Don't.
Yeah. And she's like, lift your skirt up a little more, stand with your butt out. Let me take a picture. I'm like, no, I don't want to go through that again. You know what I mean? So, and also I did work with the idea of the body and eroticism with my project, Breathing Canvas. I painted on bodies. And if you look at any of those photos, I don't see any of them as looking erotic. They're more of just like this opening up of a woman with her naked body and paint on it. So I've always been very interested in that. That's something that I am exploring right now. And a lot of flowers are very erotic, I must say. So yeah.
Help me distinguish a few ideas. It will be nice for us to know from your point of view. See, everybody kind of puts sex in one big bucket.
Yeah.
But that's not what it is. Like if the description of the picture that you gave, that Bhavna took of you, there's a feeling associated. And I believe that even if there was a photographer, they would not have been able to take that picture.
Yes.
It would not feel the same.
Yeah.
So I can't take away the aspect of intimacy.
Yes.
Between Bhavna and you.
Yeah.
So there is sex, there is intimacy.
Yes.
Then there is erotica.
Yeah.
And if I go back to the messages that you received and you had to block or delete or whatever, there is a perception difference. For them, it gets into so-called vulgar. And their, let's be kind, their lack of understanding of what this is and being able to handle that.
Yeah.
Right? So there is something that is perceived vulgar. So it's kind of devoid of respect in some sense.
Yeah.
Right? There is pornography. There is eroticism.
Yeah.
There is intimacy. There is sex. We kind of throw all of them together and make a khichdi out of it.
Yeah.
From an artist's point of view and somebody who's experiencing it differently, can you help us distinguish it in your own words, your point of view?
I wouldn't say artist's point of view. I would just say as a woman who's aging,
Perfect.
I see sex is sex, of course, but I see intimacy and pleasure and desire as so varied and so, it's so vast in the sense that I know that I'm going through perimenopause. I might not be as sexually charged at this point. For 1 week, I might feel like I don't feel like doing it. You know what I mean? But there's so much to intimacy. There's so much. There's play. There's humor. There's playing games with each other, role playing, doing all those things. And it's not just about two bodies meeting to have sex. It's so much more than that. And I feel like as I get older, I'm starting to understand the importance of when intimacy in a relationship is so much more than just the sex. You know what I mean? Like playing with each other every day and doing fun stuff together, making jokes. Like humor, I feel, is like such a great form of intimacy and desire. And exploring desire in that way for me has been so beautiful in my present relationship, because I have realized that desire can come from just a touch or a look or sitting across a room. You know this. I mean, anyone you're with and you're in a crowded place and you look at each other and there's that knowing, no, and
Mm.
sense of closeness, and it's so beautiful. And I feel like we don't, not that we don't engage with it enough. We do, like, I guess in our private spaces, we understand it. It's there inside us. We're all creatures of desire and pleasure and all those things. But like I said about that photo, how do you engage with it and say that it's okay to have those feelings? It's okay for a like you're in a bar and it's okay for a guy to come up to a woman. You can't do those things anymore. It's so difficult, right? Because the girl will be like, who the fuck are you? Like, whatever. Like, why have you come up to me? So I feel like we're losing a lot of that because there's so much online, right? Like, I also feel like young boys are seeing so much of like pornography and stuff online. And there's such a fine line between love and what is real and pornography and stuff like that. So it's like a really difficult space to maneuver. So when we say pornography is like it's a staged thing, first of all. It's staged. Pornography is staged. I'm happy that I feel like pornography being open to everybody is good in a way, not for young children. But I feel like erotica is a stimulation of every sense, of all the senses, of smell, of touch, visually, sensations, feelings of intimacy. Erotica is, you can engage in erotica, like I said, through play, through touch, through visual stuff. And pornography is like a staged thing of sex. And it's very staged, it's not real. Women don't look like that. Men don't necessarily do those things. I mean, there's the kinks and all that, of course, but it's not real. Pornography is not real most of the time. It's like a very staged thing to elicit whatever, like sexual feelings in somebody. But erotica is so much deeper. Like you can have, like erotica's poetry. It's in writing. It's in like being out in nature. And like when you were asking me, what about, does erotica come into your paintings? Of course. Like there are so many flowers that have like the structure of the vagina and clitoris, right? So, and just look for me now at this point in my life, where my body is changing and, I'm like starting to explore other ways of feeling pleasure and desire. Like I can look at a flower and like completely, I did a series called the Orgasm Flower
I was
series.
getting to that.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that. So there was at some point where I started asking people to send me like a couple of lines on what they feel when they experience an orgasm. Okay. A lot of women wrote in, a lot of men, like all kinds of people wrote in to me. And they just wrote like, I feel this, I feel that, I feel a sense of peace, I feel a sense of thing. And I painted flowers for each of them. It wasn't a commercial thing. I just did it as a project where people wrote in. I will show it to you later. Beautiful writings on their experience on having an orgasm, and I painted flowers. That's erotica to me.
Now I'm going back to the question, which I think was more or less nuanced actually. Is erotica intimate and pornography sexual?
Yes.
Where do you place vulgarity?
Where do I place
In the mind.
vulgarity?
When we are from different worlds, I want her perspective.
I know it's really tough for me because I don't. Anything visual for me can be like, see, for somebody like me watching porn, I can take what I want from it. And like, as women, we do discuss porn, where are you getting your stuff, which site, what is safe, what is this. So everybody's watching it. But it depends on the eyes of the viewer, right? Some people are watching it because they're not turned on anymore. And only this stuff that goes to like levels beyond what I even know is there now in the porn industry. Like the kids these days are watching, it's crazy the kind of stuff that they watch, which I myself am not exposed to. I feel like when it is exploitative, when it is making women seem like a commodity, where it's mostly women who are the commodity. Um, that is where I see vulgarity in that way.
You did a series,
Hmm.
which you just mentioned.
Yeah, the breathing canvas.
What is the series about? What drove it? And it is in the build for a while, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Yes.
Tell us more about that.
So 2016, I think I was painting, and I said I want to do. It was also a time when I was kind of blossoming as an artist and as a person, and discovering my sexuality, and kind of exploring ways of expressing myself. And so this was before the fantasy gardens happened, before this work got recognized. So I said I want to paint on something that's kind of moving and breathing, and I want to like try, and then try skin. And so it just started off as a project where I said I want to paint on women's bodies, and I want to document it and take photos. So like an art project, right? Document it and have these beautiful photographs of women painted. And that's how it started. And then I asked friends, I asked like different people, moms, actors, athletic bodies, fair skin, dusky skin. I picked a whole bunch of people and women at that point. And I said, can I paint on you? And I just want to do this project where I paint on you, and we take photos, and maybe I'll do an exhibition. I don't know, but it's an experiment. And so a lot of people like, why are you doing this? Including my mother. I wanted my mom to be a subject also. And so my mom was like, what are you doing? Like, there you go again.
The devil in you
Now
is
you want
active.
naked women. So I said, they don't necessarily have to be naked. It can just be their like face and neck if they don't want to. Then when I started slowly exploring this project, I started working with like a mom who had like severe stretch marks on her stomach. And then she said, listen, we'll just do till shoulder. And I don't think I want to go further. And I was like, yeah, fine. And I had the photographer, she was a documentary filmmaker, Padma, who was documenting the whole thing, which was not the plan. I was like, I have stretch marks, I don't want to do it. So I was like, fine, whatever you're comfortable with. And then I kept painting on her. And then we started talking, because this was like a day-long process, right? It's on the body. I've not really planned it. I've not sketched anything out really. So I'm just going with the arcs and flow of the skin and the pose, and I'm just painting. And we're just talking, and we start talking about body image. We start talking about like childhood trauma. We start talking about this woman going through the fact that she was dark-skinned and had like, she put on a little weight when she was a teenager, and she had stretch marks on the side of her hand, and she never wore short sleeves. So as we kept going, these conversations became more important to me than what I was painting on the body and documenting in that way. And that particular woman, by the end of it, she took everything off. And I painted over her beautiful belly, and she was standing in front of the mirror like, my God, I look amazing, So that project was so freeing for me in so many ways. And the beauty of it was the conversations, hours of conversations that I had with all these women over my subjects. There was crying, there was laughing. We shared so much. And ultimately, finally, when I actually did the show, it was beautiful photos. They were actually very imperfect pictures. Like the best ones were not the ones that were out there. The ones that looked like, kick-ass in that photography way were not the ones that I exhibited finally. They were the imperfect ones. And I made all of them write testimonies. And with the photos, I had each woman's testimony of what she went through when she went through it. Like, I only saw my body as something to take off my clothes to have a bath or to have sex, and not as something that I can sit in a space. Like, because I would be painting, like how we've taken breaks. We would take breaks, right? I'll paint for some time. I want to eat something. So we're just sitting there. So this woman is like half painted, just sitting there having chai. She's not even thinking about the fact that she doesn't have clothes on, right? And I'm fully in clothes, and we're sitting there talking. She's forgotten, that was thing. And in that piece, like a lot of people said, are you sure you want to exhibit this? Be careful. There might be people coming into the show and creating a ruckus. It was in Indiranagar, the first show that I did. But I was like, this is not about sex. This is not even like, of course the photos were they are bodies, they are women's bodies. They were erotic to me, but most of the people who came into the show came out in tears, and I had a lot of men coming in to see the show. They would call their wives after and say, please come and see the show. It is so beautiful because it just became so like that sexualization of the the woman's body was gone with this piece. That wasn't even my intention, but it became that because I said, I want to explore this. And then, so I still have women writing to me and saying, can I be your subject whenever you get back to it again? Because I said it's an ongoing thing I will do. Now I don't have the time, but so I have a record of writings of what women experienced through it, their childhoods, what they went through. Curly hair was looked at as a bad thing, curly hair, beautiful curly hair. This was, of course, that was 2016, and I kept doing it till 2018 or 19. So it's been a while. Things have changed, but yeah. And then my mother agreed to do it.
Nice.
She said, my mother finally said, this looks like, what is going on here? My mother did it. She sat in her garden. I painted her, and we took photos of her in her garden, where she's like, no clothes on. My God, you should see, they look so royal, those pictures, So I feel like it opened up so much for at least myself and all the women that I worked with. And we formed such a beautiful bond over the process. And that project became about the process more than the art. You know what I mean? It was so wonderful.
Must have been liberating for you as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. Because also space is such a thing, right? Like now if I suddenly go and sit really close to you and touch you, it's like, so understanding safe space, understanding, what do you say? Like just having to be in a space with another human being without, there was no this thing of the end result. It just was like such a beautiful, safe space that I myself and my subject created for each other. I learned so much. Yes, it was very liberating. Very. Because I myself started looking at the body differently. Because, I'm like, so the woman is standing up, I'm down here underneath like this painting, under her legs and stuff. And soon the comfort level was so, we were just breathing together. And it just became like such a space of comfort. It was really quite something, but something that I did not expect to happen at all.
This exhibition is over.
I mean, I have the pictures. I have everything. They're in trunks because I have beautiful prints of the thing. I have done that one show. Then Jagrati Theatre had a women's festival in 2018. I think I exhibited there. And we had a bit of a documentary film that played in the theatre. So you basically walk through the house, read writing, see photos, process everything, then go in and watch a short documentary film. So it's happened twice or thrice. I have the works. I want to show it again sometime.
Which is the other exhibition that we were talking about? Orgasm something. Flowers.
Which I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Orgasm Flower series.
Orgasm flowers.
That's the one. So you write in to me. I ask people to write in. I just put a post on Instagram. Write and tell me what you feel during an orgasm. And then I would paint a flower based on what they wrote and
Only
send
for
it to
women
them.
or men are also allowed to do that?
Men also.
Anybody.
Guys, right. Right.
Yeah, write to me. Yeah. So that was so beautiful also. And the different energies and the thoughts that go through your mind when you have an orgasm. Like how men's sensations were different, how women's sensations were different. And then flowers that I made from that. Yeah, it was great fun.
Okay. Your medium, in some sense, is, of course, art and all the textures and all
Yeah.
kinds of materials that you've painted on. One looks at that as a medium. But again, I would dare to say that in some sense, your inspiration has always been plants, leaves, flowers,
Yeah.
buds,
Nature. Yeah.
seed, nature, right? And you grew up on a farm, right? And here too, correct me if I'm wrong, I do see the occasional bugs and the bees and the beetles. Why aren't there the cattle and the cows and the
So I've got
Cat also, because I was looking for, browsing through this thing,
Yeah.
and I was looking for your cat because I know you love cats.
Yeah.
And I know you love dogs, and I've seen pictures of you.
I have done a few commissions with cats in them, with a few bugs and beetles in them for private clients. Because everyone's like, why don't you put more fauna into your paintings and stuff? But I feel like I'm still enjoying the aspect of just having flora in my paintings. And I know it's so funny that you asked me because just 2 days ago, I was sketching out a piece, doing the layout, and I was like, should I just put a toucan in there?
Mm.
I didn't, because I'm still enjoying the composition of my gardens the way they are. And also the appreciation that I've received for these pieces is so strong and powerful that I feel like there are lots of artists who add uh, a butterfly, a beetle. It's there already. So I've just kept mine to this as of now, but never know what will happen next. Yeah, I might explore.
In everything that you've shared about yourself,
Mm.
it sounds like a pleasant journey
Mm.
with unpleasant incidents,
Yeah.
right? Or unwanted incidents. I think part and parcel of living life itself.
Yeah.
You're very bold about the erotic energy.
Mm.
I'm curious about the fact that was there never anger or rage?
Of course.
When was it and how did it manifest?
There was a lot of anger, a lot of rage. When I said I was a party girl, it's not like I was such a joyous kid. And, sometimes you do things to escape your reality. So there was my childhood was not the best. I mean, I adore my parents and my mom and everything, but they did the best that they could. And I'm thankful and grateful to them for that. But there was a lot of pain and like families are crazy, right? Like any family unit is dysfunctional. How much ever you try to keep it as like normal as possible. So I think all that has made me the person I am today. There was a lot of rage with a lot of things. I still feel extreme rage over everything that's happening in the world. And I somehow have found I do go through periods of, like, I will go through a week of not working and just wanting to be in bed. Like it happened in December. And just feeling a sense of no hope. And what is the point of everything? What is the point of me painting these gardens? What is the point? I feel so guilty that I'm making these happy paintings and like the world is going to shit. But I do feel that for me, I feel like the purpose of my work, and there is some purpose somewhere with everything that I've gone through, like with separating from the thing, separating from my ex-husband, from my marriage, moving this way, saying now I'm going to live with a woman, my kids included, living with us, trying to make that change. I feel like my purpose has always been truth and joy in some way. And I really try and hold on to that. Like it's really precious to me. So I wouldn't say like I'm the most joyous person in the world. I wouldn't say that. But yes, my paintings do bring joy. And I feel like that's a gift that's been given to me. And I will hold on to that. So little things come through with my work actually in my gardens. There have been paintings where the whole sky is gray. Right? Those are the little things that come through. But still I'm painting flowers. Still there's sorrow in that as well, right? Like the life and death of a flower. Yeah. There was one point when I stopped putting cut flowers in my house because I was like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we like cutting them off and putting them in vases? I have a friend who hates receiving bouquets. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like in spite of, I'm at this, like maybe if we spoke 3 years ago, I would tell you about all the grievances I had about the world, right? All the grievances I had about love, all the grievances I had about the business, the art world, what is happening. People are taking advantage of each other. But I think I've just come to a point where I'm like, you know what, my life is short. I'm going to be 50 next year. I don't know how much more I have. And the mortality of us has made me feel like at least let me try and not hold on to the anger or because where is it going to take me? So my way of doing it is like actually helping people. I'll not say nasty things online. I just stopped doing that, I was a very rageful teenager and 20-year-old. I gave a lot of trouble to my parents and stuff like that. But at this point, I feel like I'm just kind of calm down.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, for my own good.
Nidhi, I have a question for you. I think this is something that we use as a self-reflective exercise for us because this is the only time that we can get that.
Yeah.
What has been your experience of having this conversation with us? You've asked this to everybody that we've spoken with.
Actually, when I came in, I wanted to talk to you and say, what is going to be the purpose of our conversation? I forgot to ask you. But I feel like it's been nice that you've gone places that boldly and asked me things that maybe I would not have talked about. I feel like we can keep going. We can go for another 3-4 hours and I can clarify everything that you've asked me. Maybe I've just given you snippets of what I think because I haven't thought about it before coming here. But it's been really nice for me to just not just talk about business and sales and work and, the technical side of it. We've not used any jargon in terms of art. Like I always say, please don't use abbreviations with me. Don't say CPC this because I don't get it. And that way it's been really easy and pleasant and nice. So yeah, I think this conversation I'm going to go back home and I feel like clarify my thoughts a little more, which is really nice. You've made me think about a few things that, like you asked me about the copyright thing. I feel like it's inspired me to do a little more with, in the future. So
is there an advice that you would like for us, suggestion or advice that you have for us?
For you guys,
Yeah.
I would say continue being open to who you are. Like you're really nice guys, and even though I've never met you before, I feel a sense of gentleness and honesty from you with so many aspects of life and your personality. So just keep that because I think it's so important. And you, Bashu, are just so curious. And it's like anything I said, I feel like you were making points in your head. You're like, oh my God, this, let me ask about this. So I think your curiosity has brought you to where you are. And I feel like that curiosity and exploration is like such an important thing for us as human beings. And you've inspired me as well, both of you. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nidhi, for doing this with us. I think this conversation would probably be one of the most life-changing for me in terms of my thought frame and my wired mind in a lot of ways. And I hope that I can see the topic that we discussed in a lot more open-mindedness going forward. And my earnest request to all the listeners, please look at the human being and not the terminology of whatever defines them. I think there's a lot more than what we can see to it. Go beyond what you have been growing up with. The way we are wired can always change. And it's not right for us to judge anybody in any way. My take on it is that, every woman out there has to go out, explore yourself, stand for who you are, and just go out there and be yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Viewers, listen, if you like what you see and hear, please share us with your friends as well and subscribe. Thank you.